really started a long time ago. I really freelanced out of New York City as a freelance illustrator with agents there for probably 25 years. I lived in Vermont all those years with my wife and 3 kids. And I was a founding member of a church up there, satellite church from a non-denominational ministry. And so on the spiritual side of things, that's what I was involved in. I'm also a lifelong musician, and I was a worship leader and play guitar and piano. And so that's a big part of my life, all of the arts. As far as professionally, what I did all those years was anything that came my way out of New York City. Did a lot of work for, I think my first professional job was with the Reader's Digest, once I had a portfolio in New York City and had an agent. To preface that, I think I'm from Minnesota originally, and to make a long story short, I worked out there for a year with a publishing company and learned the publishing industry and did some freelance illustration with them for a year. Then I went to Vermont with my wife, where she's from, and I had an agent and began to work out of New York. And around the year 2000, I think the illustration business, traditionally as it was known, started to really wane. Computers changed everything. And I was ready for a change anyway. I mean, I was tired of that marketplace and that business. So I began to do more and more easel work and fine art work, and with my oil painting, and began to just sell original oils. And I developed an association with a gallery in Tokyo, where I was selling work in Japan as well. I tried a couple of different galleries here and there, and I eventually ended up working with a very good gallery in Scottsdale, Arizona. And that gradually brought me more and more into doing Western work, which was interesting and exciting to me on a lot of levels. I love history. I like landscapes. I like people, characters. I'd painted everything from A to Z all these years. So the Western thing, as it gradually developed for me, became really fun. And I today do a lot of 19th century, more historical kinds of stuff, cowpunchers and old characters of the West, and occasionally even some Native American work. And all my work is bringing me out that way over recent years. And 6 months ago, I moved to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, with my wife. And so far, we love it up there. It's more conducive to what I'm doing in my painting. And I guess along the way, last winter I published a book on my Western work, which is now available. And I still occasionally do publishing work. This year I had an opportunity last winter to do a project called The Founder's Bible with David Barton and Brad Cummings, who's one of the authors of The Shack. And so Brad had contacted me, and so I ended up doing a cover and about 25 inside illustrations on this really exciting Bible. It just came out. And I've also been teaching a lot in the last 5, 6, 7 years, more and more workshops. I think it was exciting to come to the gathering last year because it fit right into everything I was doing. And Matt had contacted me and said, we need somebody down here who can help with the technical skill level of our painters who need some help. So I said, that sounds perfect. Came down last year, had a great time, and here I am again doing the same thing. And as we know in the arts, it's not a Christian environment for the most part. But there are a lot of guys who are sort of closet Christians, or they're in the Secret Service, as we say. And I would find out as the years went by, I'd meet people and they'd say, "Hey man, I know you're a believer. It always was a great witness to me that you'd put this little cross behind your name." And so I never really knew that. And it had an effect on people, somebody who was successful in a profession, knowing that they were not ashamed of their beliefs and their walk with the Lord. So I thought that was, God gets all the glory for that, but I thought that was an interesting thing. And so when I do even a workshop today, probably half of it ends up being people who are believers. I mean, they just gravitate toward wanting to take a workshop from an oil painter at my level with somebody who also has a biblical worldview, and it really means something to them. So there is that. I think everything we do as Christians is a ministry, aspect, and I teach that a lot to people. Whatever you do, excel at it, and the scriptures say that people see your good works and they'll glorify God in heaven, and I think we owe that to the Lord and to the world to work hard and apply ourselves. And we reach people all kinds of ways with the gospel. I think the key is, and I teach this a lot, is you have to do with excellence. You know, it's if we want to reach people in the world with our beliefs and what it is that we do, and through our artistic expression, I think it's critical to do it at the highest level. I mean, they're used to seeing the highest level in the secular world. You know, they really are, and they're going to just walk right past or bypass anything that isn't at a certain level that will grab their attention and command their respect. And I think that's really critical. I don't think it's the excellence itself that will touch a heart, you know, or bring somebody to Christ, but it's an open door. They'll stop and listen to you. Your words will carry weight, and I think what you do, even if it's just beautiful landscape painting, when you talk, they will listen.